I think it's about the first bit of good news they've had for a long time. And I am trying to think about this sensibly and positively. From the Netflix point of view, even if people mock some of the earlier programs, you have to keep going because you gather a following gradually. And let's face it, they do get an enormous amount of publicity. And I suppose it'd be quite hard for Netflix to think of anybody who didn't attract so much instant media interest as they do. So I mean, I'm sure that it's a very hard-headed decision on part of Netflix. They will have worked it all out and they think it's a good idea. So lucky Harry and Meghan. If 500,000 people are watching something, which apparently they watched the polo thing, that sounds to me quite good. I mean, apparently it's not good, but it sounds good. So they will have done their figures very carefully. I don't think that the Sussexes will have been able to pressurize them because I don't think they're in a very strong bargaining position. But I think Netflix will have worked out that people are going to be discussing it. Here we are discussing it. They will get publicity. They will get a benefit out of it, and it'll go on a little bit longer. It might take off. Who knows? That Uganda film could be very important. The Sentebale charity business has gone badly wrong, so there is an opening there for him to do something else. But that strikes me as being very positive, and would be interesting to watch actually as well. I'd much prefer to watch that than her chopping up petals and scattering them over salads. Got to give them full marks for perseverance because a number of things have gone wrong. And when anything goes wrong, immediately something else is announced and off they go again, which I guess is what you have to do. I mean, it's not very, commendable to always be, as it were, failing, but, they do that. And of course, as I said before, if you're going to take the celebrity route, you need to continually be in the public eye, continually be coming up, pulling more rabbits out of the hat at every possible available moment in order to keep people's attention. I mean, where they are very, very successful, and I suppose let's face it, it's because of his royal connections, that whatever they do, big or small, whether they show the picture of the children, the back of the children's heads, or a Mother's Day picture, or whatever they do, they get a lot of attention. And maybe, at the end of the day, that's what Netflix thinks is worth pursuing. I have a feeling that they lead a very expensive life. And the trouble is, if you start, if you get a lot of money and you up your standard of living and you're paying for a big house, you're paying security, you've got a lot of staff working for you, all that sort of thing. That's expensive and that needs to be fueled the whole time. That is, I would have thought, probably quite a stress for them because I suspect that they lead a very, very expensive life. I mean, whenever you see him arriving at an airport, there seem to be always sort of like a couple of Range Rovers and lots of people running around. And so they have to keep going. And once that money runs out, and if their popularity runs out, and they're basing all that they do on that, eventually they could be in trouble. And the most successful sort of film stars that a lot of film stars have sort of come to grief financially, but the ones who really prosper are the ones who are well advised and invest in property and have very, very good financial advice and sort of don't overdo it basically. And sometimes you find them doing very well in later life.